We are a month and a half into the high school football season of 2021. Oh, it's good to have high school football back, even a month and a half in. And big games coming up this weekend, especially for teams in the top 25. You see Bishop Gorman, number 7, taking on Hamilton in Arizona. St. John Bosco going to Oscar Smith. We're going to have a chat about that one. And number 5, Thompson, hosting Hewitt-Trussville, and Chaminade-Madonna out of Florida taking on Buford, Georgia. That game tonight at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And for more on the games this week, we now welcome in our saucy MaxPreps duo, Zack Poff and Steve Montoya. Let's start with the game of the week here, Zack. Bishop Gorman at Hamilton. The Gales have already beaten 3 out-of-state opponents, but this Hamilton team, I mean, there are no slouches here. Is this a case of saving the best for last when it comes to Bishop Gorman's out-of-state opponents?
You know, I would say, Miami Central is probably the toughest out-of-state game they had. But, I mean, you can make a case Hamilton's right there. This is a team that's gone 10-2 over its last 12 games. And both those L's came against Chandler, a team that's won 38 games in a row. And they finished last year as Arizona's Open Division runner-up. And they were a field goal away from knocking off Chandler. So this is a very talented team. Nico Markle, a big-time quarterback. Krista Naya, one of the most underrated wide receivers in the country. And then they got this cat, Russell Davis, coming off the edge. He's one of the best pass rushers, not just in Arizona, but in the class of 2022. So a fun matchup will be watching him go up against 2022 Oklahoma commit Jake Taylor or Bishop Gorman. But the 2 guys from Bishop Gorman I've loved so far this year is sophomore quarterback Micah Alejado, a dude that's had 6 touchdowns in the last 2 games. And he really put on when they needed big drives against Miami Central. So he's been just balling out this year. And then you got junior wide receiver Zachariah Branch. This guy's proven why he's one of the top 100 players in the class of 2023. He had one of the best punt return touchdowns so far this year in their 35-7 dub over Lone Peak last week. But, Hamilton's a team. They're just outside of the top 25 at number 26. They get the spotlight on ESPNU tonight, so they get a chance to show out and show Las Vegas, hey, Arizona's just as good as y'all, and we're one of the best states on the West Coast. But, Jeremy, if I had to make a pick, I think Bishop Gorman's going to pull this one out 34-21.
And based on the highlights, there are a couple of left-handed quarterbacks, which is something we don't necessarily see. We see it on a rare basis, and we could see that tonight. All right, the second-rated game of the week, according to you guys, is in Virginia. Oscar Smith welcomes number 3, St. John Bosco, a team that started the year with the toughest schedule in the country, and they have responded, Steve. What kind of a test will this game be for them?
Yeah, I think this is my favorite game of the week because St. John Bosco is traveling all the way to Virginia, and Oscar Smith is no slouch. I mean, they're a defending state championship. They know how to play football. They got talent left and right. So this is going to be a good test for the Braves. Do I think St. John Bosco is going to lose? No, but I do think it's going to be a pretty interesting game to see how they handle that long travel. It's been fun to watch them on social media, hanging out in Virginia and getting to know the community. And even the Oscar Smith fans are really loving that a California team came out to play. Last week, St. John Bosco played another out-of-state team, East St. Louis. Pierce Clarkson, he threw for a touchdown, ran for 2. So this should be a fun game to see what happens in the state of Virginia, as one of California's best will be there.
Yeah, and you see their win total. I mean, they come in 4-0, and of course they haven't had really any close games this season, so we'll see what they can do. But Oscar Smith, I mean, you talk about Oscar Smith here, Steve. I mean, is this the best entrance in high school football?
I think it is. The Tiger Cage, I mean, you watch these kids come out and Zack will say it, the smoke and bringing the smoke, they want the smoke. I mean, this is it right here. Whenever we post this on social media, the reaction is like, I cannot believe this is a real entrance to a game, but it is, Zack.
Hey, you know what the kids say, man? They want all the smoke. Oscar Smith's going to get their chance to get all the smoke tonight against St. John Bosco. So it's going to be a hyped event, man. Just imagine just the crowd when they see them coming out with St. John Bosco. And I imagine this is going to hype up St. John Bosco, too, seeing dudes come out of a cage. So we'll see how long, the hype lasts for Oscar Smith. I think St. John Bosco is going to pull away big, but we'll see.
Yeah, St. John Bosco might put him back into the cage in that game.
Hey, Jeremy, let me ask you this. If you were in high school, would you be in the cage or would you be letting the guys out?
I'd be letting the guys out. When I played, no, it wasn't there. I wasn't one of those guys. But what a great entrance video. And by the way, if you know of a better entrance video, if you're watching this and you have a better entrance video, send it to us. We love that stuff. We love seeing it here on HQ. We'll put it up for you. All right, Zach, your email outlines the games each and every week, the games that you guys want to focus on, and you broke big on Hewitt-Trussville at number 5 Thompson. Dude, how is this game not the game of the week? I mean, this is going to be an explosion of points. I mean, it might end up a 199 game. I don't understand how this isn't your game of the week.
You know, hey, Jeremy, I'm going to start hitting you up every Monday, man. And we're going to be like, hey, you know, Jeremy, we cool with this list. But I will say this, you know, sometimes we tend to go with the out-of-state games as more of the top-tier matchups. But, you know, this is a primetime matchup in the state of Alabama tonight. You got, you know, number 5 Thompson. So far this year through 4 games, they've outscored opponents 217-3. And then you look at Hewitt-Trussville, you know, this is a team that's 4-0 also, and they've won every game by at least 21 points. So I think obviously there's going to be some more points on the board for Thompson's opponent. But, you know, you just look at Thompson's defense. That defensive line, you got Peter Woods, a 5-star from the class of 2023. You got Jeremiah Alexander, the leader on defense. He's a 5-star Alabama commit from the class of 2022. And then you look in the secondary, you got Tony Mitchell, a 5-star corner from the class of 2023. And then you got 2022 Miami commit Traquan Fagans on the other side. So it's hard for any offense to put points on the board. But then you look at Thompson's offense, they're throwing out Connor Harrell, a 2022 North Carolina commit. This dude's got that sauce, and he's a big-time playmaker with both his arm and his legs. He's got a bunch of wide receivers to get the rock to. But one dude I love who might be the most underrated wide receiver in the country, and that's Ryan Pepins. This dude usually gets his ball in the hands, gets his hands on the ball, and then takes it to the house. But this is going to be a fun game, man. I think Hewitt-Trussville is going to hang with Thompson early, but I expect the Warriors to pull away late and win by a few scores. Yeah, Thompson, a little bit of disappointment last week. They actually allowed 3 points and didn't score over 50. So what a game and what a team. That is going to be a good one tonight. Lastly, out-of-state showdown, Florida, Georgia, bragging rights on the line. Steve, tell us about this matchup between Chaminade-Madonna and Buford.
Yeah, you're right. State bragging rights on the line. Bordering states, you can make a case that the best athletes come from Florida. Or do they come from Georgia? Well, we'll see it tonight because there's going to be a ton of athletes on the field. And this is a good one because both these teams are winners. They have won state titles, a lot of them. So you're going to have a great team from Georgia, number 15, Buford. They've won 13 state titles in Georgia history. You're going to have Chaminade-Madonna, who has won 5 state titles. So like I said, you're going to have winners going at it with a ton of talent. Buford, I really do like their running back, CJ Clinscales. This kid's a Boston College commit. He's averaging over 7 yards per carry for Buford. And then Kenyatta Jackson, a 4-star edge rusher for Chaminade-Madonna, are just a few of the big-time names in this game. Georgia, Florida on the line tonight. This should be a good one.
Love those state bragging rights. All right, we always finish off with some recruits that you guys are watching this week. Zach, start us off with the guy that you're keeping an eye on.
We're going to Utah, man. Corner Canyon High School. You got their 4-star quarterback, Devin Brown. So far this year through 5 games, he's thrown for 1,600+ yards, has 20+ touchdowns. And Corner Canyon's averaging 54+ points per game. He's a 2022 USC commit. And you just look at Corner Canyon's offense, man. This is a program with head coach Eric Kerr that has just been putting up numbers every single season. And Devin Brown, I think he's going to put up big-time numbers tonight. He's going to have to because they're facing a 4-0 American Fork squad. And I think Devin Brown's going to throw for 400+ and 6 tutties.
Yeah, and I'm going to roll with Wesley Grimes for my guy to watch. Wake Forest commit from Millbrook High School in North Carolina. Get this, he had 5 TD receptions last game. He has 10 total. So this kid's averaging over 25 yards per reception. And how do I know this? Because his coaches get their stats in on MaxPreps, and now he's one of the top leaders in the country right now with 10 total TD receptions. Wesley Grimes from Wake Forest commit. He's definitely one to watch for.
Yeah, and 5 touchdowns last week. I mean, he's got half his total in 1 week, so he's certainly coming good at the right time. All right, talking high school football with Zack Poff and Steve Montoya, 2 of the sauciest dudes from MaxPreps. Great stuff as always, gentlemen. We'll see you back here Monday to recap it all. And for all the latest from the high school game, be sure to check out the profiles, highlights, recaps over on MaxPreps.com. Zach, Steve, everyone over there putting in the work for you to stay on top of all the best in the high school game across the country.